The kids' table. It tries but really can't compete. Forever relegated to live in the shadow of its adult counterpart, the kids' table is the furniture equivalent of Robin compared to Batman, Portland to Seattle, Cougars to Huskies. It's where the bread rolls begin and the turkey ends. Unlike the sturdy, dependable adult table, a piece of distinction, mahogany, and optional leaves, the kids' table literally folds like a cheap poker table. It's designated seating for accompanied minors and unaccompanied adults. A seat here feels like an unspoken slight, borderline punishment, and for many of us, there's been times in our lives that have left us feeling exactly this way, like we've been unfairly and unexpectedly relegated to the kids' table. There we were, minding our own business, enjoying small talk, football, and appetizers in a type of bliss only found with ignorance. In that moment, life was good. And the call to dinner was our Jim Collins moment. We're about to go from good to great on this night. And we continued our conversation with Uncle Ron as such. Drinks in hand, we strolled along the table's edge, carrying on as if equals, and not a care in the world. We should have known that there was a problem when Uncle Ron suddenly went silent mid-sentence. We look back, but it's too late. Uncle Ron is down. He's found his place. He's seated, but he's a respected CPA and well-traveled, so losing him early on and toward the head of the table was expected. We turn our attention to Aunt Jane across the table. Small talking while stationary is difficult enough. Small talking while moving is a deeper level of awkward. But we forge ahead. We chat about the weather and the election while tilting our heads to read the cursive names on creased cardstock. The conversation is a bit forced, but it's nice to be a part of something greater than ourselves, a part of the masses slowly making their way down table. We look up from another place setting, another that isn't ours, and Aunt Jane is gone. She's down as well. Then Uncle Rick, then Aunt Rachel. One by one, family and friends continue dropping and the herd starts to thin. At this point, we do some light deductive reasoning, comparing empty chairs with those still standing. A couple out-of-state cousins and someone you're sure wandered in by mistake are all the eligible adults that remain. The end of the table is fast approaching, and as if you're driving a '66 Thunderbird, you start to realize you're about to blow right past this ledge. Your younger and less accomplished cousin from Minnesota gets the last seat at the adult table, an obvious DEI selection. And that's when you realize the painful truth. Your seat is at the kids' table. Your place setting nearest the toilet and farthest from grace confirms it. Surprise, frustration, confusion, these are all present and accounted for. Gratitude, not so much. It felt unfair. At first, we assumed that there must have been a mistake, but we soon realized that our lot was neither an accident nor an oversight. Even worse, we concluded that the host knew exactly what lay before us at the time of our invitation and yet said nothing. No warning, no apology, just unmitigated deceit. And as we double-checked the name on the place setting, we realized the only difference between the host and Judas was that Judas had the decency to do his betraying after dinner. No, a seat at the kids' table is rarely viewed with gratitude or thanksgiving, but perhaps it could be. Charles Dickens once said, "Reflect upon your present blessings, of which every man has many, not on your past misfortunes, of which all men have some." Powerful words considering Dickens was forced to work 10-hour days in a factory as a child. As Dickens implies, gratitude is a choice. And we know now that the benefit of choosing gratitude is worth the effort. Psychotherapist and best-selling author Amy Morin writes, "Developing an attitude of gratitude is one of the simplest ways to improve your satisfaction with life." Morin explains that there are numerous scientifically proven benefits of gratitude. It opens the door to more relationships, improves physical health, improves psychological health, enhances empathy and reduces aggression, improves sleep, improves self-esteem, and increases mental strength. And better yet, developing this gratitude attitude doesn't have to be complicated. New York Times bestselling author Shawn Achor explains that the simple act of maintaining a gratitude journal, that is writing down 3 gratitudes each day, is a good place to start. Achor explains that intentional gratitude forces the brain to scan for positive events that occurred over the past 24 hours. Aker writes, "Because we can only focus on so much at once, our brains push out those small annoyances and frustrations that used to loom large in the background, even out of our visual field entirely." He goes on to say that research shows that the positive impact of gratitude is not only far-reaching, but also long-lasting. In one study, Aker writes, researchers found that participants who wrote down 3 gratitudes a day for a week were less depressed and happier at their 1-month, 3-month, and 6-month follow-ups. Not a bad return. Something to keep in mind when we find our name card seemingly misplaced on a dinner plate. A seat at the kids' table is rarely what we want or expect, but it's not in our control really. Inevitably, we all find ourselves there at some point. And as we sit on the unpadded piano bench, knees tucked uncomfortably beneath the table's low clearance, we have a choice. We can either focus on our present blessings, or we can focus on our past or current misfortunes. I suggest, like comedian John Crist, that we focus on the former. After an evening at the kids' table, Crist asked, "Why would you want to hear Dave's story about middle-class tax cuts when you can hear Dylan's story about how one night all of his stuffed animals came to life and they snuck out and robbed a bank?" Good question, and a bit profound, because an increase in misfortune doesn't mean a decrease in blessing, but our focus can easily convince us otherwise. So as we round the corner toward a new year, let's literally count our blessings, at least 3 a day. Because if the year has you feeling like you've been demoted to sitting with the kids, then November's our opportunity to not only thank the host for the invitation, but to also give thanks for a seat at the table.